rabbit and turkey and chicken and quail and rat and mice, a whole bunch of different food items. Just like you or I, we offer them pike every single day. Pretty soon they're sick of pike and won't even touch it. So we try and spice it up as part of the enrichment program like that. And we do have to feed, like I said, those scales and those fins to keep our birds healthy. It's part of their nutrients that they need. Yesterday was a rat day. They got a whole rat. Now, that's great because they get the fur and the skull and the tail and everything. But they can't digest fur, but they digest the rest of it. So they give a pellet, just like an owl would, except eagle pellets don't have bones. So all you learn is what color dinner was rather than exactly what type of rodent they ate.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love rat day. It's my favorite day of the week.
Oh, really?
The tail goes down just like spaghetti.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yep. But that's our Sunday special. They only get that once a week. Most of the time it's fish or rabbit because that's what we have most available to us.
And what is that he eating now?
Sheep's head. It's a type of fish. But so they like catfish and carp and sheep's head, kind of the species that we're like, no thank you. As people, we don't really care to eat them. So we have people that know us out and about fishing and they catch things that they don't want to take back home and eat themselves. They drop it off at our door and we're able to use it for the birds. Now what you're hearing right now is bald eagles calling. Most often, our eagles call in response to a wild eagle flying by those windows. Now, they think everything they can see is their territory. So that means that if another eagle's flying through their territory, they got to make sure that eagle doesn't stick around. Now, it's going to get louder around here as we progress through the winter because we have a great wintering grounds here. Up north of us is Lake Pepin, and most years Lake Pepin freezes over. You can actually see eagles out standing on the ice waiting for dead fish to pop up. It's really cool. But as all those northern waters start to freeze, the eagles go to where there's open water. Well, here in Wabasha, we have 5 miles of Mississippi that rarely freezes over. So in a good year, we can have over 300 bald eagles in that 5-mile stretch. So that's why the Eagle Center is in Wabasha. It's a great wintering ground for these birds. Now, as you're looking at Washaka, you probably are like, he looks really small compared to what I'm seeing out and about. Well, that's because he's from Florida. If you live in Florida, you don't have to be big to survive those harsh winters, right? It's pretty mild down there. So he is your average size southern eagle. Now, the other part of that is girls are bigger than boys. So here in the Midwest, the boys weigh 8 pounds. The girls weigh about 10.5 pounds on average. He weighs 6 pounds. So he's a teeny little eagle. If we headed up to Alaska, there you gotta be big to survive those winters. So the girls up there can weigh 17 pounds. So a huge difference based on where you're hatched and your gender. But do you have any specific questions about eagles? I know some of you just got here.
I'm just enjoying watching him eat the...
Right? It's a great show.
Yeah.
You'll also notice that his eyes kind of have that milky, cloudy layer every now and then. That's called the nictitating membrane. Eagles have 3 eyelids. They have the ones like we have, and they have a third one that comes across from the side. It acts like built-in safety goggles to protect their eyes when they're hunting. It's like, more please.
You better stop that squealing. Oh, thank you, eagles.
Now, you can all thank me after the program. I did remove the intestines and the innards from the fish ahead of time. Eagles don't eat that. No raptors do. It's already digested food, so they fling it. And they thought it was probably not good to fling guts at our customers. Which is fair enough. So we removed that ahead of time, just for you guys.
Okay.
But you can see he still does make a mess. Yeah, if we offer them a fillet, by the way, they won't eat it. They don't recognize it as food because there's no bones or skin or scales on it. So we definitely need to leave that sort of stuff on for them to be even interested in the food. Because we have tried that before, like people have brought in some freezer burn stuff that they don't want to eat, but it's still edible for an eagle. But yeah, they won't touch it. Those fins are no good, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't like the fins.
The eagles that are inside, you probably already answered this question, but the eagles that are here, are they injured?
Yep. So they all went through the rehab process and failed. The doctors couldn't fix them up well enough for them to survive on their own in the wild. So it's hard to see while he's eating, but he's blind on his left side. That eye doesn't look right. He still has the eye, but he can't see out of it. As of these birds are visual predators. So
Right.
suddenly you don't have one of your eyes that you're able to use. You have no depth perception.
Yeah.
Without depth perception, you're not going to be able to catch your own dinner. He was found on the ground starving when he was in his first year. So they were able to catch him, and he became a great education ambassador for the National Eagle Center.
And what is well, you said over 300 eagles
Yep.
kind of come here. And what's the eagle population at this point? Do you know?
We have over 2,300 known nesting pairs here in Minnesota alone. So they are doing wonderfully at this point. In fact, they were taken off the endangered species list 5 years ago.
That is amazing.
Now, a lot of people are very worried about me, which is nice when I bring a bird in, because I'm nose to beak with them, and they're like, aren't you worried the bird's going to lean over and bite you?
Right.
No, because it's too close to their eyes. Their vision is critical. So usually if a prey item has the chance, they're going to go for the eyes, the weak spot. That's what an eagle sounds like. A little bit of a harsh call there. I don't know why, just because maybe. So usually they definitely aren't going to risk a prey item hurting their eyes if they can help it. So they're going to use their feet to go after everything.
Right.
So could he bite me? Yes, he's still a wild bird. Those instincts could kick in if something wasn't quite right.
You know?
Absolutely. But it doesn't hurt very much. It's like somebody pinching you.
Oh, wow.
It's uncomfortable, but it's not really a weapon. That's a tool to him, despite it being really big. His weapon is his toes. Yep, those talons. Those talons are nice big razor blades for grabbing onto their food. He's called doing freaking or feeking, depending on which falconry book you read. Basically, he's using me as his napkin. That's what he's cleaning up. Now, those talons, each toe can exert 400 psi. If he chose to, he could go through my entire 5-layer leather glove and get my arm. There's a great exhibit out there where you can test your hand strength to an eagle's foot strength. So I'd highly recommend that all of you do that before you leave. Now,
Oh, is he ready to go?
a little bit, but we're going to let him kind of hang out here for a little bit. The other really cool thing about these birds is that they're very clean. So you can see he's cleaning up right now. When I put him back into the enclosure, he'd actually jump into his bathtub and might take a full-on bath. They got to get all the fish stuff off of them. And they will not go to the bathroom in their nest. You know, that's a lot of eagle in an area, so they always want to make sure they use the restroom elsewhere. So they'll all scoot to the edge of their nest, lift up their tail, and shoot their poop.
Oh.
Yeah, over 6 feet.
Oh.
Wow.
So we always try to make sure his rear end doesn't face our audience.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Wait.
what is his wingspan?
He's probably a little over 6 feet because he's a boy. Our girls are going to be close to 7-foot wingspans. Now, do you see how he has a bulge in his throat?
Mm-hmm.
Now, his stomach is the size of a walnut. But most of that food he just ate can't fit in that walnut-sized stomach. So it's in this area where those white feathers meet the brown feathers. That's his crop. That's his storage area. So over the course of the rest of the day, he'll slowly push that fish down from that bump into his stomach to be digested.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have storage areas.
There you go. Yep. So you can see that wingspan of his every now and again. Gets a little flappy. But is there anything else you guys just have to know about eagles while you're here?
Do the talons break like nails?
They can,
And
yep.
then do they grow
And
back?
It's not going to break off the same way, but they have a sheath, so they have a covering that they can actually break off. And then it's like an exposed nerve, we believe, because they act like it's very painful if you touch it, or if, when it's exposed, it touches things.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we're constantly checking on them. Every time we get a bird on glove, we do a quick visual. We check their feathers, we check their beak shape, we check their feet. So we can do a quick visual and make sure they're healthy. We're also checking to make sure they're giving a pellet and muting or pooping on a regular basis. If these things stop happening, it's kind of a red flag that something's not right with the bird. So if we notice stuff like that, we want to get them to the vets as soon as possible, so that if something is wrong, we have the best chance at helping them out.
Does he see in color?
What?
Does he see in color?
Yeah, he actually sees in better color than you or I.
Wow.
They have 4 types of cones in their eyes, and cones are what allow you to see color. We only have 3 types. So he sees into the UV part of the spectrum, which is handy because things like rodents, when they're running about, they have their path. They go pretty much the same route all the time, and they're peeing all the time. And rodent urine glows in UV light.
Oh,
So we believe an eagle or a hawk